Studios.
Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sara Jones. For this episode, I got to hang out with a very funny guy named David Agyekum. David is a comedian from the great state of Michigan. He was named one of Comedy Central's Comics to Watch, and he is a Costco business member. He'd like to take this time to promote Anne Hathaway. She's got some great movies coming out in 2019. If you're in LA and trying to see an opening day midnight screening, be sure to DM David on Instagram at David Ray Agyekum. That's at DavidRayAgyekum. This was a special episode for me because David and I actually went to high school together back in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan at Lasser High School. David blessed me with the nickname Sassy, which I certainly never had any trouble living up to. David and I visited the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. The Queen Mary is a notoriously haunted ghost ship. Be sure to check out queenmary.com to learn about tours, events, and maybe booking a night on this haunted ship. If you'd like, be sure to check out our Instagram for pictures that go along with this episode. You can find us at Lit Dark Podcast. That's at LITDARK Podcast. Here's the episode. I hope you love it.
Oh, so you just like read off a piece of paper? Do people know that? Or
yeah.
That's common knowledge?
They know I'm doing the research and then I bring it with me and then we discuss it as we go.
You couldn't like memorize some of this?
No, I did 6 episodes this week.
Okay, I mean, but if you're trying to host a pie.
Dude, it's like 5 pages long. Okay. We are on board the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California.
So I can interrupt you at any time.
At any time something pops in your head that you're like, this is a good time for this. Okay. You're right. You're the boss.
I'm the boss?
You're the boss.
Hell yeah.
The Queen Mary. Now I feel like you're going to just interrupt me all the time.
No, just read it. All right. You got to get the information out there.
You're right. The Queen Mary has a bit of a legend behind the name. Allegedly, the board of directors wanted to name this magnificent ship Queen Victoria and went to King George at the time and told him that they have decided to name the ship after England's greatest queen.
Wait, so is King George, how is he related to Queen Victoria?
Okay, so Queen Victoria was his grandmother, I think. But they just go up to King George and they're like, we want to name this magnificent ship we made off of the greatest queen of England. And then King George said, oh yeah, my wife, Queen Mary.
Hell yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Get George.
Would be delighted that you would name a ship after her. So that's, instead of correcting the king, because who would be so bold, they went ahead and named the ship Queen Mary. So before you get too excited...
I was really excited.
Well, actually, I put that in for me because I was like, holy shit, do you think it was the Queen Mary? And it's not. It's named after Mary of Teck. The ship is not named after Bloody Mary, also known as Mary Tudor or Mary the First of England, who served as the Queen of England and Ireland from 1553 until her death 3 years later.
So it's Mary of Teck?
Yeah, different Mary.
Is there any more information about Mary of Teck?
Not really. There's pictures of her online. She was alright.
She's alright. I feel like all of them, the paintings don't look good.
No, hers is like a photograph.
Oh, she got a
Mary of Teck. Yeah, because it's like 19...
Oh.
Or wait, is it? Yeah, it's like late 1920s that the ship was made.
Oh, yo, that's recent. Oh, I thought it was like, for whatever reason, I just assumed it was like, oh yeah, this is like from the 1700s. There's probably slaves on this ship at some point. Probably
some 20s. Oh, fuck.
Oh, she dropped her paper. Episode is about to go out the window.
Oh,
I mean, off the bow. Off the bow? Off the bow?
Yeah, off the...
Bow?
I think it's the bow. I think it is the bow of the ship.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm not making that up, but I also a lot of times say things with a lot of confidence that are definitely not true. So.
I mean, everything I say has no confidence.
But it's usually true.
Yeah, but I have no clue, man. I don't know the front of a ship.
I'm not a sailor.
Yeah, this isn't a nautical podcast, guys. This is about haunted shit.
Right.
Like the Queen Mary.
Yeah. Right. Which brings us to. So the Queen Mary's maiden voyage was in May of 1936, departing from Southampton, England, which explains all the London telephone, the red telephone.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of London shit out here. But I feel like, wait, I don't know if the telephone, could they use telephones like that in the 1930s? They have a bunch of those telephone boxes, telephone booths.
But isn't that like a British thing?
Yeah, but on a ship in 1936.
It's a luxury ship.
Yeah, but did phones do that? Like 1936? Could they have
work? You're saying that you don't think those worked?
I don't know why. I just don't believe in technology before 1982. Anytime there's like in New York, the subways were built so long ago, I'm like, I don't believe that.
When were they built?
Before you would think. It's like, yo, this is underground, man. All these buildings on top of this, how is this all not crashing down? But it's not.
The ship had 5 dining areas and lounges, 2 cocktail bars and 2 swimming pools, a grand ballroom, a squash court, and even a small hospital on board.
Ooh, we should go to the hospital.
Yeah, we should. I should draw some blood while I'm here.
Oh.
Give back.
Known for its luxuries and elegance, the Queen Mary became the mode of travel preferred by the rich and famous, as well as royalty at the time.
There's like a part of me that's like, yo, who was famous in 1936?
Lots of people were famous in 1936, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know any of them now. They're all long dead.
Oh, like that's still around?
No, yeah, I mean, just like off the, like, they were famous. They're probably the most famous person in the world in 1936.
Like the Rat Pack? Wait.
The Rat Pack? What is the Rat Pack?
Let's look it up.
Wait, that's like Frank Sinatra and all them. Isn't that after 1936? I feel like that's like the 50s or 60s. The 60s, maybe? Listeners, if you know when Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack was, give us a call at Lit Dark Podcasts on Instagram.
Years active. Years active, or is that years alive? Well, because it says years active.
What was the years active?
1935 to 1995.
The Rat Pack was from 1935 to 1995?
That's what I'm saying. Is like maybe that's when he was born. Damn. But I'm saying I think maybe.
Yo, I don't know anything about Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, he was born in 1915. Wait a minute. Since he was like 19 when he started like regularly performing.
Because every time I go to karaoke, someone will start singing Frank Sinatra. It's like I'm supposed to know it. I'm like, yo, man, I don't know any of his fucking songs.
I do, because I worked at an Italian restaurant when I first moved to Grand Rapids.
Oh.
So that's all we listen to. It's actually pretty catchy.
I've heard people love him. I know that there's that song about New York, and that's all I know. Wait, is Frank Sinatra the one that... No, that's Elvis Presley.
That died from eating a lot of peanut butter and bacon.
Oh no, that he started dating a girl when she was like 14.
What? I don't know anything about Elvis really, besides that didn't he die in the toilet?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know anything about Elvis. I've been seeing all those documentaries about musicians that are creepy, and they say, well, there's a long line of things happening. Elvis did it.
Yeah.
Elvis, what was that dude? Jerry Lewis, the one who married his cousin when she was like 14 or 13.
Oh.
He got banned from like every music station. But he has that one song, I think, Great Balls of Fire.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he married his cousin while she was underage.
Like that makes it, I guess it does make it worse.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, she might be my cousin, but at least she's 14. It's like, you gotta start him young.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Queen Mary has been called the most haunted ship in America.
What the fuck? I'm getting out of here. You said this is the most haunted ship?
The most, yeah. Easily. Look at it.
Dude, but here's the thing. All right, how many haunted ships are there in America?
There's a shitload of haunted ships in America.
In my mind, I just assume they're all in the Caribbean and they all like sank in the
No,
underground.
there's some in Michigan, in Lake Superior.
So this ship is more haunted than those ones.
Yeah, Lake Erie.
All right, what does haunted really mean, though? What's
Probably like quantity of paranormal experiences. There's no way to really quantify them, but I guess like this is considered the most haunted ship in America.
But like, what kind of paranormal shit are we supposed to see? I'm not.
I'll get into that. I will get into the details of that. Don't worry, David. I will not leave you hanging.
I'm very worried.
Try not to worry.
Incredibly worried.
Okay.
I don't even know if we're allowed to be where we're sitting.
Yeah, that's true. We're actually not sure if we're allowed to be here.
I got so much anxiety coursing through my veins.
Yeah, that's what
for the love of the podcast, I will shoulder through. Soldier through?
Soldier. You can soldier and you can shoulder through it.
Yeah, man,
you
I
can
will.
just bust.
I'm gonna lean my shoulder forward and I'm going right on it.
Yeah, put your back into it.
Yeah.
Let's get through it. Okay, so it's been called the most haunted ship in America and has even been listed by Time magazine among America's top 10 haunted places.
Why is this place so fucking haunted? Why am I here then?
Well, because you love me.
Whoa. I never said I love you.
Yes, you do.
I said you're all right.
Okay. Larger than the Titanic, the Queen Mary has been in operation since the 1930s. The ship was converted into a military vessel during World War II, carrying troops who helped to defeat Hitler safely back home. At this time, it was painted gray, which helped earn the eerie nickname, the Gray Ghost.
I feel like I might have seen clips of a National Geographic show about this place.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff on this thing.
But it's also one of the top 10 haunted places in America. Not just the haunted, so it's the most haunted ship by far. But it's also cracked the top 10 of just haunted places in general.
In general, yeah, in America. Okay, and also for listeners, really quick. So like I said, David and I go way back, and he said that he wanted to do an episode of the show, but that he doesn't fuck with ghosts. So he wanted to do an episode that wasn't too haunted, and unfortunately...
This is the most haunted.
This is like probably the most haunted episode we've done so far.
This is the most haunted one you've done so far? Well, I guess it's the top 10 haunted place in America. What are the chances you went to the other 10?
Yeah, so how you doing, buddy?
This neighborhood the neighborhood isn't haunted, but you shouldn't be in this neighborhood at night.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I would not want to be walking around lost.
Yeah, I just heard birds. I feel like it's too late for birds to be.
No,
If it wasn't an echo of you.
You're so like tense right
No, I'm fucking relaxed. So chill,
I
looking
think
out
that
on
was
the water.
a frog though, or like a cricket.
I thought that was a frog.
Yeah.
Could be. Is it too late for frogs? What time do frogs go to bed? Sun's down for all you listeners listening.
Frogs chirp. I almost said they meow. Frogs chirp all night long. They chirp, right?
They ribbit. Did you say frogs chirp?
They do.
They ribbit, right?
No, yeah, but it's called ribbit, but they make like a chirping sound.
I thought it goes like ribbit.
It's like a bullfrog, dude. No, like, maybe I'm wrong, but you know how like frogs will like chirp?
No, obviously you know more about frogs than me.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about frogs.
Okay.
This whole time they've been chirping. I thought they were just ribbiting away.
There's like different kinds of frog sounds. Like the big bullfrogs do like the ribbit, like a deeper sound.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of frogs, and it sounds like they're chirping.
I mean, look, the next time I see a frog, I'm going to put my ear up to it.
See what noise it makes.
Yeah. I feel like I've dissected a frog in some...
No, in middle school, we dissected those baby whales, remember? Or were they baby sharks?
They were small sharks.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Because I remember, because this one dude, I'm not going to say his name on the podcast because I don't like this, but he made his shark into a hand puppet, and it was very funny. But there's a part of me...
Does he kill people now? That's like a serial killer type.
No. I remember at the time I was like, yo, this dude might be a serial killer, but this is funny. He just had his hand open, he was just talking, it was like, oh man, that's a funny thing to do with a shark. But I was like disgusted by every part of the whole dissection. This man's right in there, just his hand in a shark.
Just shouldering through.
Yeah, but if you're listening, you know who you are.
I want to know who he is.
I mean, I'm not going to... It was... I'll say it after, right?
Okay, we'll try to remember. We have an hour drive. Maybe I'll be like, who turned that shark into a hand puppet? Like, randomly.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely tell you.
Okay, great. If you're listening, you know who you are.
Yeah,
and if you're listening, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. That's cool.
Yeah, but please don't kill either one of us.
Please don't kill us. Sorry we didn't come to the 10-year reunion.
Well, I feel like they still haven't officially done a 10-year reunion. That was like a meetup kind of thing.
So there's still a chance to see who got fat?
Yeah, this summer, guys, we're going to see who got fat.
This summer.
Unless they just don't do it, which I'm assuming they won't.
No, they probably won't.
It would be very easy to, call a restaurant and say, hey, we want to have our 10-year reunion there. But they didn't do that.
Yeah. This summer, Lasser High School will see who got fat.
Well, I mean, it's also, you can see who stayed fat, who got less fat. But look, man, you listeners out there, be as fat as you want to be. We body positive out here, man. We like thick chicks.
Right. 2 C's.
2 C's? What is that?
Thick with 2 C's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like double C tits.
Like not quite a D.
Yeah. I was like, is that big?
Moderate.
Yeah, some fucking double C titties.
Double B.
Double B. Love me some double A's.
Keep it going.
Bra size and batteries. Also
going
meat.
All night.
Meat grade. Double A grade meat. Awesome. Double A baseball. That's the bad baseball, right? They're not good enough.
I don't know anything about baseball.
Me either.
All right, great. Okay, so it also earned the nickname the Gray Ghost. This ship's final voyage was, fittingly, on Halloween of 1967. It now stands as a luxury hotel and tourist attraction. People often stay on the Queen Mary for a lovely view of the Pacific Ocean, which we're looking at it. That's got to be the Pacific Ocean then?
I mean, I assume it is. There's also a chance it's a bay or something, but no, it's got to be.
It's got to be. There's a parking lot on that side.
No, but I mean, like, you know how... Never mind.
Yeah, but if it's saying the...
Oh, yeah, we're on the Pacific Ocean, guys. Also, there's a question I had. It said the last voyage was on 1967 on Halloween.
Yeah.
When was Halloween founded?
When was it founded?
Yeah, when did we start doing Halloween? Was it before or after this? Because maybe it's not a coincidence because Halloween didn't exist yet.
Okay. No. Didn't Halloween start... Wasn't it like the Catholic Church and something with like the pagans? There's like a pagan holiday and then...
I feel like that's Christmas.
Yeah, but I think Halloween is like All Hallows Eve.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Oh, in Detroit, well, at least Detroit, we're both from Metro Detroit. I was originally born in the city. I moved out when I was 2. Shit was getting too rough for me,
I was born in Royal Oak.
So then I moved to Bloomfield Hills, hometown of Mitt Romney. Shout out to Romney if you're listening. That's where me and Sara are from. I
didn't know Romney was from. Do you know who's from? I think Birmingham or Bloomfield Hills?
Ooh.
David Spade.
See, the thing is, you're coming at me like that's more impressive than Mitt Romney, junior senator from Utah, former governor of Massachusetts, and Republican.
Tommy boy?
Look, see, Mitt Romney. He was,
Black sheep.
Look, all right, Mitt Romney, born in Detroit, moved to Bloomfield Hills. David Agyekum, born in Detroit, moved to Bloomfield Hills. Am I going to be a governor someday?
Probably. I'm kind of surprised you're not already.
I feel like you got to be like 30 to be a governor, right? I don't know how governors work.
No idea. Didn't that one chick just become like a senator or something?
No, she's a representative. You only have to be 25 to be a representative.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, this is the podcast called We Don't Know Stuff. Except
The commercialization of Halloween started in the 1900s.
Oh, shit. Never.
When postcards and die-cut paper decorations were produced.
So all you Halloween heads out there, you already knew that. We didn't have to tell you. But, you know, some of us are uninitiated.
This is so stupid. Under the quick facts, they have, last year it happened on Wednesday, October 31st of 2018. This year it'll happen on Thursday, October 31st of 2019. But next year, and this is where it'll get you, it happens on Saturday, October 31st of 2020. Like, why is that listed for all of us?
At least you know it's a leap year next year.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So they're keeping us on our toes. This is like for people who just moved here and don't know what Halloween is, because it says, what do people do?
Wait, I feel like Halloween, they mostly only celebrate in America.
Is it celebrated in Europe too?
I mean, when I was studying abroad, no one celebrated it.
It says many children dress up in fancy costumes. When did you ever have a fancy Halloween costume growing up? Well, I guess being in Michigan, we always had to have something that you could put a coat over.
Oh, yeah, I always dressed fancy though, but just because I dress fancy in life. I'm just kidding. No, what if I haven't. One time I was a Teletubby. That's probably the fanciest I've ever gotten.
I was a witch like every year. Very creative. It says at each house they demand sweets, snacks, or a small gift. If they do not get this, they threaten to do some harm to the inhabitants of the house. What the fuck kind of Halloween
it's
is
trick
this?
or a treat. So that's what it is. You give me a treat or you get tricked on. That's not a phrase that people say, tricked on. Get tricked on. Why'd I say that? When I was in Australia, no one celebrated Halloween. All of us study abroad kids just looked weird, dressed up in our costumes, roaming the streets drunk. Well, I wasn't drunk. I didn't drink yet. They were all drunk. My costume, I had found a hubcap on the ground. So I made a
Flav.
Well, I went as the ghost of Tupac. Because I had a white sheet, and I was ashamed. It was very not well thought out.
Oh, yeah. Because you could have done Flavor Flav pretty easily.
Yeah, but I was wearing a white sheet, so I had to be, I was the ghost of somebody. So I was like, I guess I'm the ghost of Tupac. That's what I just told people.
Yeah. And they were like, where was this at though?
It was in Australia.
Oh. So they're like, you're Tupac, mate.
Yeah, we just went in and out of bars, causing mayhem. I think there was a time when I went on an escalator going down, and I was very stressed out because I was wearing a long white sheet, and I was like, "Oh man, this is how I get stuck in the escalator and die."
Yeah, in the most ironic way.
Yeah, that's not ironic, is it?
Well, yeah, because then you become a ghost in the most classic ghost outfit.
Fuck, that would suck to die in a ghost costume and become a ghost. And someone sees you.
They're like, this is corny as fuck.
Someone sees you like, oh, so ghosts really do look like
Tupac.
that. Well, and then you have to explain to them, no, not all ghosts look like this.
Yeah, don't be prejudiced.
It was Halloween. It was Halloween. I was wearing a costume, guys. Ghosts normally look way more chill than this. They don't wear regular clothes.
Oh, yeah, I'm way too active.
I'm trying to die butt naked, though, so if I'm a ghost. I just want to see people see my thing.
When asked which room is the most haunted, an employee notably responded, the entire ship is haunted.
Wait, so it was weird because there was a while where Sarah was like looking for the most haunted part of the ship, or looking for haunted areas, and from her research that she's already done, she's already determined that the entire ship is haunted.
Yeah, but I wanted to like be in the best spot that we could be recorded.
So there's just specters all around me.
Yeah.
I'm probably sitting on a ghost.
Probably, or maybe they're sitting on you.
For whatever reason, my mind, this is how I know there's a problem, because I was like, I hope it's a girl ghost. I was like, that's not the thing you're supposed to be thinking.
Well,
then I started gyrating my hips like, yeah, you feel like that? Ghost.
But what if it's like, oh yeah, David, I love it.
It's like, look, man, get it where you fit in, bro. I'm just gonna, in my head, you're a woman, and I'm doing the thing.
A thick woman. Two
thick
C's.
Woman, 2 C's.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, the entire ship's haunted, though most paranormal experiences have been reported on the B deck, which is, I think, where we went to the bathroom.
Oh, yo.
That was scary as shit down there, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole toilet situation was just strange.
Yeah, it really was. But those hallways, they look like The Shining.
Yeah, I was like, people stay here?
Yeah.
For money?
Yeah, they pay the money.
Yeah.
They don't get paid for it.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about this, is that it's a hotel. So it's like, who wants to stay in a hotel in Long Beach, first off? I don't know anything about Long Beach. Before I talk about Long Beach like that, I don't know anything about it, but like,
right.
why would I come stay here? This seems selling this thing.
You can stay on one of the most haunted ships in America. Or the most haunted ship in America.
I feel like I'm not impressed by staying in a haunted area. I feel like that's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay extra money. I want my room to be unhaunted.
You're like, can I have a guarantee it won't be haunted? I'll pay you the extra big bucks for it.
I for sure would pay extra to not be in a haunted place.
No, I would want to stay in a haunted room for sure. I've done it before.
So when you stay in a haunted room, what do you get out of it? What is the feeling you feel?
I haven't actually had any experiences in a haunted room, honestly. But you just hope to.
Like, what would be ideal for you if you stayed in a haunted room?
I don't know. Well, let me tell you some of the stuff that's happened in rooms here, and then.
Oh yeah, we gotta stay focused on the podcast.
But then we'll talk about it, because I think some of the things that have happened here, I'd be like, yeah, I guess that would be ideal. Okay, so. Of the 375 total rooms on this ship, 50 are believed to be haunted, though none more than room B340, which they said is already leased out. This room has been featured on Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters and the British television series Most Haunted. Hauntings in this room have included faucets and lights turning on and off, doors opening and slamming shut. Some have even reported having covers ripped off of them while they slept, sometimes followed by the physical apparition of a dark figure standing at the foot of their bed.
Oh, so that ghost is really trying to fuck.
Get up.
If I'm trying to get my thing on, I need to go to room, was it B340?
No, someone's already in that room. I checked.
They're fucking a ghost right now.
If they're lucky.
I hope they're using protection. Remember, you can catch ectoplasm.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's on your face.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, Sarah has dropped her paper again.
I'm not even drunk.
This is a weird way to say that. I'm not even drunk.
Well, I'm usually a little tipsy when I do this show.
Oh, yeah, but you got to drive. So.
Yeah, I had to drive an hour, so we couldn't drink.
Yeah, guys. But later. Sarah's getting fucked up.
We're doing Jello shots. We're staying the night in B340.
We're doing Jello shots? Where can we buy Jello shots?
Actually, I know a bar back in Portland that you can still. There's a couple bars in Portland you can get Jello shots.
I know some in Brooklyn that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's none out in Los Angeles? They're too big.
There's definitely got to be Jello shot bars.
There's gotta be.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
Afterwards, listeners, we're going to go on Yelp. We're going to look up Jello shots.
Jello shots on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing until my podcast recording tomorrow night.
Sounds like somebody's doing Jello shots
Sounds
tonight.
like we're doing Jello shots. Okay, so room B340 was even, until recently, taken out of rotation as a room offered to guests at all, as they had so many paranormal experiences in the room that it seemed impossible to have a guest stay the whole night. Now they've simply decided to give in to the haunting experience instead of shy away from it. They will even supply you with a unique amenity for staying in this room. A chest filled with a crystal ball, tarot cards, and a Ouija board to amplify your experience for the night.
I'm trying to think, like, what would it take for me to change rooms if I got put in a haunted room? Because I'm very lazy.
No, you have to call ahead of time. Usually people have to request like months ahead of time. I did an episode last season in a haunted hotel room, and I requested honestly 2 months ahead of time, and I still didn't get it.
Damn.
Yeah, people really like it. So often visitors have heard the sounds of children laughing when no children are present, or have smelled cigar smoke when nobody else was in the room. We smelled that earlier, and then I realized it was people smoking cigarettes up here.
Yeah.
But for a second I was like, oh my god, do you smell cigar smoke?
Oh yeah, because there's definitely cigarettes. So I was like, why would your mind go to cigars? I was like, what? What kind of fancy?
Are they smoking cigars up there? Sorry, I read that part. People have even claimed to see scores of full body apparitions here. One of the apparitions that people see is the White Lady.
Oh, I see one right now.
I knew you were gonna jump on that.
Wait, I mean, you just lob it up there like that. What am I supposed to do?
That's what they call her, is the White Lady.
I gotta dunk it.
You're like, there's white ladies everywhere. This is the classic spirit we see coming up in pretty much every haunted location.
There's a white lady in every location? Like every haunted location, there's always a white lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, because only white ladies are out here trying to see haunted shit.
No. I've been the ghostly apparition of a woman wearing a white gown.
Oh.
That's a really
So it didn't say the race. She could be Chinese.
Right.
So the white lady's Chinese.
I know, but they call her the White Lady, and I knew you were gonna love that, so I had to just leave
you think
it
I
in.
love white ladies?
Of course you do.
What?
No?
Based on what?
Well, I thought you would love that they call her the White Lady.
No, I'm open to all ladies.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying
Thin, 2 C's, CK.
Black women, if you're listening, I love black women.
Yeah, black women, if you're listening, I love you guys too.
Yeah, Chinese women, love you too. White women, love you too. I love all women.
Yeah, me too. International Women's Day was just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But it's really every day. It's believed that the White Lady checked in, but mysteriously never checked out. She has been reported countless times and seems to be encountered floating by the Queen's salon, dancing alone in an area toward the end of the first class lounge.
But she never checked out. You cheap bastard. She's just staying here rent free.
Yeah, dead as hell. Another spirit encountered here is that of a little girl known as Little Jackie. Her name was Jacqueline Torrin, and she was only 5 or 6 years old when she drowned in the ship's second-class pool at the site of what is now the Royal Theatre. We passed that, where it said they were screening movies.
Wait, she drowned?
In a pool. It used to be a pool there.
It used to be a pool? It's like a 5-year-old drowned there and now they watch movies?
Yeah, I guess. People have claimed to hear little Jackie making splashing sounds as though thrashing in a pool and calling for her parents. Some say she has even responded to questions when asked.
Well, all right, now this is where I'm like, all right, I understand that she drowned in a pool.
Yeah.
She's thrashing about asking for her parents,
Yeah.
screaming for them.
Yeah.
She's got time to answer questions.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I thought she's drowning eternally.
Yeah, but he asked her favorite color.
She can answer questions.
You make a very good point. There are even visitors who believe Jackie has a friend named Sara who also drowned in this pool back in 1949.
And how do they know? They asked her.
Asked her. Yeah, she told
Y'all
them.
need friends? Oh yeah, my friend Sarah, she drowned here too. Hey Sarah, say
When?
hello.
1949. Little Jackie was not the only person to die a tragic death on the Queen Mary.
Oh fuck.
In fact, many people have died aboard this ship, especially when it was in operation. One of which was a man named John Henry who worked in the boiler room. The boiler room is also where his remains were found. Sometimes John Henry's shadowy figure can be seen in the boiler room, and he too seems to audibly respond to questions when asked, particularly about beer.
So far, little Jackie and John, they answer questions, but the white lady doesn't, but she's the most seen.
Yeah. Well, no, the white lady, like, a woman in white, I feel like is just seen at every haunted place. That always comes up. You know what I mean? It's like such a cliche, like, woman in a white gown.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know that much about hauntings.
Yeah.
So
You don't
you're
ever
like-
watch, like, Travel Channel's Most Haunted or anything?
No. I don't like ghosts. Why would I watch things about, hey man, you travel here, see some ghosts?
Yeah. I love that stuff. Well, all right.
So if a ghost pops out right now, you'll protect me.
Yes. And we'll also probably ask a couple questions.
All right. What else about there's
Yeah.
beer drinking John Henry?
Yes. The spirit of one particularly moody ghost aboard this ghost ship has no known name, but is referred only to as Grumpy. Sometimes he's also adorably referred to as Grumpy the Growling Ghost.
So he growls?
Grumpy has been experienced lurking below the stairs by the first-class swimming pool or hanging around the boiler room with John Henry. There have even been recordings captured of Grumpy's signature ghostly growl. Another notable spirit is that of Captain Treasure Jones.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. Treasure Jones, my favorite ghost of all time.
Me too. Captain John Treasure Jones was the last person to captain the Queen Mary, earning him some credit in the maritime community. He died in 1993 at the age of 87 and was known for his love of cigars. Some people have reported smelling cigar smoke in the captain's quarters. As many as 49 deaths were reported aboard the Queen Mary while it was in operation. One of these deaths was of a man named John Pedler, who's also known as Half Hatch Harry for some reason.
Half Hatch Harry, that's a good name.
Yeah, but his name was John. So I don't know.
Half Hatch Harry out here. What is a half hatch?
Well, okay, so John was a crewman on the Queen Mary when he was 18 years old, when door 13 in the craft alley crushed him to death while he was playing chicken with another crew member. Although another source says that it was during a watertight door drill that he wasn't playing chicken. I don't know. John Pedler can be detected by those searching for his spirit because he has been known to leave behind greasy handprints as he roams varying spots in the ship.
Is he eating KFC out here? These greasy chicken hands.
Popeye's hands, just like
You call him Half Hatch Harry, you should call him Greasy Hand Gill.
greasy hand gill. Yeah.
Or John, because his name is John.
Yeah.
It could be Greasy Hand John.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, grease.
I thought you were saying, or you could just call him John.
You can't call him
Like,
that.
that's just gross. Like, ugh. Left greasy handprints, why don't you just call him John?
Yuck. That's a terrible name. John. You should get a real name like David. I feel like a lot of things I say are really stupid and should be cut out of this podcast.
I feel like that every time I record. Don't worry. Okay, so yeah, he leaves greasy handprints as he roams varying spots in the ship. When John Pedler's full apparition is seen, it's said that he can be found dressed in blue coveralls with a beard, and that he often disappears behind door 13. Fun fact, this area where John was killed was used in the filming of the 1972 disaster film, The Poseidon Adventure.
So if you go behind door 13, you'll find a man in overalls with greasy hands.
Yeah. Or you'll be like, don't I recognize this from that 1972 disaster film, The Poseidon Adventure?
Oh yeah, it's a classic. You know my favorite part?
Where have I seen this door?
My favorite part of Poseidon's Adventure, man, when door 13 shows up. Classic.
Oh yeah, me too. You'll never forget that one scene. Everyone remembers where they were the first time they saw it.
Yeah, that piece of classic cinema. In Italy, they call it cinema.
Oh, do they? Oh.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Oh, really?
I took a semester of Italian, but I don't remember it.
Oh my God. Isn't that another Romance language?
Well, the Romance languages all came from Latin.
Yeah, I know, but isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Romance language, yeah.
Okay, so doesn't it get confusing with Latin to Italian?
Here's the thing. Latin is not a spoken language,
Right.
so like the whole time you take it, you never have to speak it.
Right.
But then any other language you do, if you're taking it as a class, then you have to, part of it is oral tests and whatnot. So when I took it, everyone had been taking Spanish for so long or French, so they were all way better at Italian than me because I was not used to speaking it. I had to just like sit there and try to listen to the teacher. I was like, yo, you talk too fast.
Yeah.
I'm a slow talker,
Didn't
slow
Mrs.
listener.
Day talk in Latin though?
She tried to a little bit, but you know, it didn't rub off.
She didn't take to it.
Didn't take to it. I wasn't about to speak no Latin. I can read the fuck out of it.
Right. Because remember she'd say claude to libres?
Oh yeah, close your books.
Yeah. I remember that. That really sticks out in my mind as being like one of the most traumatizing thing I heard in Latin. Because that means you're about to take a test and you have to put your books away.
I remember there's only a handful of times where she got really mad at me because I was a good student at Latin, but I was kind of a ruckus starter. Which is a very strange class.
True. You did start a lot of ruckus. Usually I was the butt of the ruckus between you, Casey, and Mike.
Well, because you were so sassy in the class, so we just had to call you sassy.
Yeah. I mean, I've told people now that I'm like, yeah, one of my nicknames in high school was Sassy, and no one is shocked. Everyone's like, of course it was.
That was such a bizarre class.
It was, with a lot of like random people in that class.
Yeah. I remember the one time she got mad at me, I put a pencil in the ceiling after like everyone was acting up in class, and then I was just like the exclamation point, so she flipped out on me and stopped class. Another time we were learning the negative, what is the when you like say a command or something, whatever case that is for a verb. Mm-hmm. And then in Latin, I said, "Don't touch me there," and she flipped out. But it was so insane because now looking back on it, I used to just say absurd sentences that you can't really say in a class now. The one we would say constantly was when we found out the phrase "beat," and we'd say, "I beat my wife and children and buried them in a ditch." Oh, yeah. And that was just a common thing we would say all class. But instead I said, "I don't want you to touch me there." She lost it.
That's too much. I do remember that. I think one of you guys wrote, I think it was Casey, who wrote the word diphthong on like multiple pages of a book I was reading. But the thing is, like, I didn't finish reading because it was like not a book for school. Like, it was like a random other book I was reading, and I didn't finish reading it until like later that summer, and I would just keep finding pages that just said diphthong.
I feel like that's something that Mike would do. That's some like genius level shit.
I won't say last names, but it could have easily been Mike planning ahead of time.
That definitely is something he would do. Just sit there and just write in someone else's book on several pages when they're not looking.
And it was funny every time. Okay, less detailed reports. Wait. Another tragic spirit aboard this ship is that of Dana, who, as legend would have it, was murdered in room B474. Dana waited nervously in a bathroom while a crazed murderer strangled her mother and sister in a bed before finding her hiding and shooting her to death in the bathroom. An apparently sociable spirit, it's said that Dana's spirit can be found hanging out with the other ghost children in the second-class pool or with John Henry and Grumpy in the boiler room.
So everybody's just hanging out with John and Grumpy in the boiler room, getting lit.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't it sound like that's like the prototypical front porch steps of like a New York neighborhood?
Yeah.
John and Grumpy, they're drinking like 40s.
But then my question is, like, Dana was hiding in the room, so B474, so that's probably also a haunted room, right?
Probably, yeah.
That's like a room someone got murdered in.
That's the level where the bathroom was, though. That's that creepy hallway we were in.
That's where someone got murdered. So she was in the bathroom. The murderer strangled her and her mother, her
mom and sister. Mm-hmm.
And then shot her.
Yeah.
That's a strange murderer.
Yeah. Although maybe because the shot would make too much sound, too much noise, so he tried not to shoot anyone, and then maybe he was surprised by Dana, and so he shot her.
Well, I mean, I'm not a murderer, but like...
Less detailed reports I have come across in my research, I have mentioned a man in black and a woman in blue. Another is of a tall, dark-haired man appearing in a 1930s style suit. There have also been reports of wet footprints appearing out of nowhere, walking away from the no longer filled or used swimming pools on board. So that'd be creepy.
Well, the question is, are these feet wet or are they greasy?
Like extremely greasy.
Yeah, I feel like John Henry's been out here giving foot rubs.
Countless photos claiming to capture a spirit have been caught on the Queen Mary, and many of them are, admittedly, kind of convincing. There have been, of course, the classic signs of hauntings regularly reported here, including drastic temperature drops, doors slamming, knocking, screaming. There's a typo on this, and I wrote scramming. Lights flickering, and the sounds of either babies or children crying. I've read reports of both.
So those are the classic haunting signs.
Yeah, the things you see in lots of places, like the temperature drops and all that kind of stuff.
I feel like if I was a ghost, I'd be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, me too. They say that seeing is believing, but with the paranormal, seeing is not always all it takes to believe. One interesting account I found on Reddit described more of a physical experience that she had while she visited this ghost ship only 3 years ago. She says that she came to a craft show on the front lawn of the Queen Mary, and included in her tickets was the opportunity to explore inside the ship. Standing above deck, which is exactly where we are right now, I think.
Oh yeah, this seems like a front deck. Is this the poop deck? I feel like it's a classic joke people make about ships at the poop deck, but now I'm like, is this actually the poop deck? Because we're on a deck.
It could be. You got a 50-50 shot, I feel like.
How many decks are on those ships?
Don't you feel like the poop deck would be the ass end of the ship?
That makes sense. But, you know, here's the thing. Ships don't always make sense, Sara.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so, Yeah, so she was standing above deck and she had the distinct feeling that the ship was moving, her body swaying from side to side, which we noticed earlier we did not experience. Certain it was just her imagination, she continued on her tour and came down to the engine rooms where she began to get increasingly dizzy and disoriented. She even describes holding tight to the railing of the skinny metal staircase she was climbing, and at one point, her entire body pitched over the side as though the ship had hit an enormous wave, and she had to hold the railing very hard to keep from falling. After she left, she went straight home and slept for over 2 hours. When she woke up, she texted the friend who had joined her, who described an eerily similar experience as though the ship had drained them completely of their energy.
Wait, but you're good to drive though, right?
Yeah, I don't feel that way. The Queen Mary will actually be the set of a major motion picture filming this year about the hauntings here, according to The Hollywood Reporter. It will be directed by Gary Shore, who directed the fantasy horror film Dracula Untold, and produced by Brett Tomberlin, who produced a supernatural film out just last year called Winchester, starring Helen Mirren, about the woman who founded the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose. I have to see that movie because I love that story and would love to do an episode there someday as well. And I can't wait to see what movie comes out about this place.
I feel like this is my honest opinion. I'm probably not going to see those movies.
I hope you enjoyed your visit with David and I aboard the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. Be sure to visit queenmary.com to learn more about this incredible destination. There's events aboard the Queen Mary for everyone, whether you're into a waterfront cook-off or a special onboard seance. Be sure you also find David on Instagram at David Ray Agyekum. Once again, that's at David Ray Agyekum. While you're at it, visit our Instagram at Lit Dark Podcast or check out our website at litdarkpodcast.com to find updates, take a look at our merch, or just contact us and say hello. Special thanks for this episode goes to my producer, Randall Lawrence, in Cranival Studios, Jonathan Cooper, my graphic designer, Sara Schneider, my manager, and of course, all of you for listening.
Sources for Laughing in the Dark Episode 3 include DestinationAmerica.com, MysteriousUniverse.org, Ghosts of the Queen Mary by Brian Clune and Bob Davis, Time Magazine, The Travel Channel, CaliforniaThroughMyLens.com, TripSavvy.com, QueenMary.com, Wikipedia, and Legends of America.
Laughing in the Dark is brought to you in part by Heck Yeah Studio. Heck Yeah Studio is a creative effort working with people to create meaningful things. At Heck Yeah Studio, they work with clients to turn their ideas or existing brands into real or better versions. Heck Yeah Studio is the place to go for custom illustration for a full range of branding services, like killer logos, great colors and typography, and fun illustrations for pins, signs, prints, shirts, vehicles, posters, or anything you can imagine. At Heck Yeah Studio, they work with love. Their dream client is someone who is passionate about what they do. At Laughing in the Dark, Heck Yeah Studio has designed our logo, all of our merch, and any posters or stickers that we have. I am so proud and lucky to work with such an awesome company, and I could not recommend them higher.
Cranival Studios.